Finland's Kimi Raikkonen was 21 years old when he made his Formula One debut with the Sauber race team. Struggling to keep pace with other competitors, he recorded 7 DNFs, not scoring a single podium during his rookie campaign. Although Raikkonen wasn't the only Finland native who had a bad 2001 season. The Flying Finn, aka Mika Hakkinen, also struggled, hitting a huge, big-time slump. Prior to the Italian Grand Prix, Hakkinen announced that he was going to step down from driving and spend more time with his family when the season ends. When the year came to an end, Hakkinen scored 2 wins, 3 podiums, and fastest laps, ranking 5th in the championship standings, scoring 37 points in the process, having an average finish of 9.4 along with 8 DNFs. His spot was replaced by Kimi Raikkonen, who was keen to make a big impression with the McLaren team in his sophomore season in 2002. And needless to say, it was an utter nightmare. So, let's get into it. This is the story of Kimi Raikkonen's sophomore slump. In the first race of the year in Australia, Kimi kept the McLaren MP417 in one piece and wheeled his way to his first ever F1 podium.
Kimi, welcome to the club. How was your first podium?
Oh, it was good. Of course, the podium is always good, but it was quite a difficult race because all the things what happened through the race, and I'm very happy still.
Even though things looked promising finishing in third, the next 6 races were otherwise. 18th in Malaysia following a blown engine. Wheel rim problems in Brazil forced Raikkonen into retirement, resulting in 12th. Then in San Marino, he ranked 14th, having yet another retirement, but this time with exhaust failure. It only got worse in the next 3 more races, considering the rear wing blew off the car in the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. And then, in the Austrian Grand Prix, Raikkonen retired due to more mechanical failure in the early laps. Monaco race weekend was a complete mess, and rightfully so. Crashes into the barriers in the practice sessions was one thing. Oil systems overheating during qualifying was another. And following qualifying time trials, Raikkonen had to use David Coulthard's spare 4th chassis race car. Scrapping the remains of his MP417 using Coulthard's extra backup car, he was quick enough to line up on the grid 6th. Like I said, plagued with crashes and mechanical failures during practice and qualifying is one thing, but that being followed by yet another crash on race day can make your race weekend even worse and something to think about. And that's exactly what happened to Kimi Raikkonen. When Ferrari's Rubens Barrichello misjudged his braking point entering the chicane exiting the tunnel, slamming into the back of the McLaren driver, much to the Finn's angry displeasure reaction. And this was not the only time Raikkonen got into it with someone in that very same chicane, but that's a story for another time. In Canada, for the running of the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Raikkonen stayed out of trouble to claim 4th place, 1 spot shy off the podium spot. 1 race later at the Nürburgring, he recorded his 2nd podium finish, ranking 3rd. He was on a roll at Silverstone too, having to qualify in the top 5 range, making gains during the beginning to middle stages of the British Grand Prix. That was until lap 44, when his barbecued engine let go on him yet again. Manicourt in France for the French Grand Prix is likely debated by F1 fans across the globe as a would've, could've, should've race win for the Finn driver. This race was by far Raikkonen's best showing in his sophomore season, leading the 2nd most laps, recording fast lap times, being one of the fastest in the field, and being right there for a chance to finally step on the top podium spot. With 5 laps to go, one moment he was leading, the next,
there's oil on the track, right in the path of the race leader. The Finn goes wide and Schumacher takes the advantage. But does the Finn's mistake cancel out the no overtaking rule?
in a blink of an eye, he makes a costly mistake, locking up the brakes, going wide, letting Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari pass to clinch and take away the race win. Not only that, but also his 3rd consecutive world title, and the 5th overall. Even if Raikkonen either caught up to him and retook the lead or maintained the lead, Schumacher would have finished 2nd and still win the championship regardless. But again, that's a story for another day. Hockenheim saw more cheers for Schumacher and more frustrations for Raikkonen. The McLaren driver at one point during the German Grand Prix suffered a left rear blowout. The remains of the tire compound damaged the undertrain and a brake duct. With that, they finally gave way, sending Raikkonen into a spin into the tire barriers and out of the race. Things somewhat turned around back to the positives at the Hungaroring, considering a 4th place finish after qualifying on the grid 11th. Spa-Francorchamps was the next stop on the schedule, and at the challenging circuit, Kimi pushed to the limits, only to clock in the 2nd fastest lap time, qualifying P2, behind Michael Schumacher. Even though Raikkonen's engine went up in smoke in the late stages of the Grand Prix itself, he's best known for this particular moment during qualifying time trials.
Auf der sichereren Seite, jetzt läuft auch noch Raikkonen auf, das kann er sich dann schenken. Der geht gleich in den Notausgang der Einfahrt, der alten Boxeneinfahrt.
Weil es so viel besser war.
Um Montoya nicht zu behindern, aber der...
Fucking Raikkonen! What a fucking idiot!
Monza and Indianapolis weren't any better, following more engine failures. Finally, there's the season finale in Suzuka in Japan, placing 3rd to wrap it all up. So, in conclusion, it was a season that could have been better, but was out of control. Much like Kevin Harvick's NASCAR season from the same year. Only difference is, Harvick's side of things had much more difficulties and issues in his sophomore season. But enough of a little NASCAR history there, focusing our attention back to Kimi Raikkonen, as I'll get to Kevin Harvick's sophomore slump at a later video. Kimi Raikkonen's stats from the 2002 season looked like this: 0 wins, 4 podiums, 21 laps led, scored 24 points, ranking 5th in the championship standings, along with just 1 fastest lap, with an average finish of 11.4, not to mention 11 DNFs. That's over 60% of Kimi's entire 2002 campaign in terms of not finishing a Grand Prix, with only 17 races on the calendar at the time. But despite an unforgettable and horrendously bad, crappy season, Ron Dennis kept Raikkonen for 4 more seasons, almost winning the World Championship on 2 occasions with the team. In other words, after 2002, Kimi Raikkonen would succeed by a long shot, putting his misfortunes from his sophomore year behind him.
Oh, and they nearly touched. Can Raikkonen sweep in? Yes, brilliant!
What a brilliant move! Side by side down the straight. Grand Prix racing at its absolute finest. Kimi Raikkonen sweeps through.
So, that'll do it for today's video presentation. As always, I thank you for watching from start to very end. For those that are new to this particular content and are interested to see more of these F1 videos or other racing related topics in the future, feel free to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. And if you want to, this is completely up to you, hit hit the notification bell so you will get notified with each and every upload on this channel. This is Calvin Marshall signing off the mic, and until next time and further notice, peace out and have a good one.